Next week's event was meant to have taken place after the unveiling of Diana's statue in July, which Prince Harry attended without his wife. Meghan stayed at home with 2-year-old Archie and Lilibet, who was less than a month old at the time. More than 100 guests, including Elton John, have confirmed their attendance at the party, which will belatedly mark what would have been Diana's 60th birthday. Lifted travel restrictions for double-vaccinated citizens between the US and UK mean Harry and Meghan could have made it to London without the need to quarantine on arrival, so people were expecting them not to miss the occasion. But a spokesperson for the Sussexes has confirmed they won't be at Kensington Palace on October 19th. Harry is researching his mother's life, his upcoming tell-all memoir, a book described as a definitive account of the experiences, adventures, losses, and life lessons that have helped shape him. His rejection of the event invitation, given it is to celebrate his beloved mother's life, has come as a surprise. Royal expert and author Penny Junor told The Sun, "It is a great shame they are not coming. The longer they stay away, the greater the rift and the more difficult it is to come back from." Ms. Junor said it is a shame they can't come back considering how much work there is to be done. She claimed, "It shows they are not interested in making things work." It will soon be 2 years since Harry, 37, and Meghan, 40, quit their royal duties and announced they were moving to the US. On January 6, 2020, the Duke and Duchess said in a statement, "We intend to step back as senior trademark members of the royal family and work to become financially independent, while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and our patronages." Their decision to distance themselves from the firm was only the beginning of a wave of problems following their relocation to America. One of the biggest allegations in the 2-hour conversation between the royals and the American talk show host was that there had been several racist conversations within the royal family while Meghan was pregnant with Archie. Many viewed Harry and Meghan's potential trip to the UK for the party as a chance to spend time with other royals, particularly William and Kate. Britons enjoyed seeing Harry and William together at the unveiling of Diana's statue and hoped for more such moments to follow. The celebration could also have been an opportunity to make their visits more frequent, and to see the Queen, who aged 95 is known to love being surrounded by her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Had Harry and Meghan come with their kids, the monarch could even have met baby Lilibet, who she hasn't seen yet. Organizers say the event will showcase the memorable story of the Queen's reign since 1952. The pageant will consist of 3 acts and take place on Sunday, June 5, with the first scene troops and veterans take part in a march along the Mall in front of Buckingham Palace. Giant dragons the size of London buses and beasts as tall as 3-story houses will then parade down the Mall and create a dazzling spectacle. More than 6,500 street performers are due to take part in the street parade, which will run from under Admiralty Arch, down the Mall, past Buckingham Palace and up past Constitution Hill in Westminster. Top artists including Ed Sheeran, Elton John and Stevie Wonder are also being lined up to perform. Nicholas Coleridge, who is co-chairing the pageant, said the event on the final day of Jubilee celebrations will top those held in 1897 for Queen Victoria. The V&A chairman added, "TMS going to be the largest that TMS ever put on, larger we think even than that was put on for Queen Victoria. That was pretty large, this is larger. TMS going to have 6,500 people taking part in it." But he added, "At the same time, and massively importantly, we TMR going to make sure whilst the Jubilee is based on London because TMS going to be a procession that goes around the parks, through Westminster, under Admiralty Arch, down the Mall, past Buckingham Palace and up past Constitution Hill, TMS not going to be London-centric. We even have a giant map, making sure that we have people from every part of our country, and indeed every part of the Commonwealth. We TMR going to have people from all 54 Commonwealth countries who are going to be taking part in this astounding parade." We TMRE having all the creative industries in it. 17 different theatre groups have so far signed up to be in it. We TMRE having enormous sculptures the size of 4-story houses being dragged down the mall. We TMRE having a mysterious celebrity singer that if I said it, the entire Team Jubilee trademark would be so angry with me that ITMD probably never be able to go back into the office. Speaking at the Conservative Party conference in Manchester, Mr. Coleridge continued, but on the side of it the levelling up agenda will be fully respected. The North East, the North West, Plymouth, every member of Parliament I speak to asked me whether their own constituency will be represented. By the end of it, I hope we TMRE going to feel re-energized, highly patriotic and very much one nation as we all celebrate the Platinum Jubilee. The 4-day weekend will begin on Thursday, June 2nd with Trooping the Colour, which will be staged in full for the first time since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It comes after a modern war of the roses broke out between Lancaster and York MPs after ministers backed calls for a northern town to receive a royal title. Ministers are mulling whether to grant royal status to a northern England town in line with the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. This would give a town, borough or county a royal prefix for the first time. However, the plans backed by Tory chairman Oliver Dowden, triggered competing claims from MPs representing Lancaster and York that the title should be given to their cities. There are 10 places that hold a royal title in the UK, including Berkshire, Greenwich and Wootton Bassett. A Cabinet Office spokesperson said, "The royal title is granted by the Queen on the advice of ministers. The honour is granted to towns, boroughs or counties in exceptional circumstances where they have played an outstanding role in public life, or have a very strong historic royal connection." Meghan Markle and Prince Harry recently stepped out in New York for their first joint appearances since the birth of their daughter, Lilibet Diana, on June 4. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex attended to participate in Global Citizen Live, to promote equal access to the COVID-19 vaccine as well as a reading at a school in Harlem. Royal commentator Katie Nicholl pointed out a notable inconsistency between the outing and the image the couple have wanted to offer the world of themselves. The couple did face criticism for the visit, including the fact that they travelled back to Montecito by private jet, after being vocal about the effects of climate change. Ms. Nicholl, the royal editor of Vanity Fair, spoke about the event on the Royal Beat. She said, "Turning up at an underprivileged school in Harlem, in a couture coat that costs more than the combined incomes of most of those parents at the school. It doesn't make any sense. It just shows them to not be in touch." The Duchess was slammed for wearing the $5,840 Loro Piana cashmere coat, as she was visiting an underprivileged part of New York. The Duchess and Harry stepped down from their role as working royals in the British monarchy last year. Since moving to Montecito, California, the couple have signed various deals with multiple companies. Their production deal with major player Netflix was reportedly around $150 million. It is also rumored that Meghan is starting a new skin line with infomercial guru Bill Guthrie. The deal is rumored to be around $200 million. Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, 74, recited a poem to honor National Poem Day, and Clarence House shared a recording of it on Twitter. The Duchess, who is a supporter of Poetry Together, an organization that connects groups of school children and elderly people to perform poems they have learned by heart, read W.H. Auden TMS Poem Night Mail. But according to a language expert, the future princess consort requires some professional voice training. Reacting to the recording, language expert Julie James told Express.co.uk the Duchess could do with some coaching to allow herself to sound engaged, interesting and fully on board with her messages. Julie praised the Camilla's natural vocal tone, saying it sounds mature and adult in contrast to both the Queen and Kate TMS higher, more girlish, silvery tones. Unlike many of the Windsor women, she has a deep, kindly tone with a hint of huskiness. However, the expert claimed Camilla needs training not to sound unlike herself but to get the most out of the attributes of her voice. As consort, Julie said, She will need to make speeches that might possibly be as dry as dust and will need to make the words come alive to modern ears. Royals are being heard all the time, on TV, radio and social media, as well as during those more formal royal addresses. When Camilla's husband, Prince Charles, 72, accedes the throne, Camilla's role within the firm will change, too. Even though she won't be known as Queen Consort, out of respect for the late Princess Diana, her title will carry the responsibilities that come with being married to the king. Besides, the Duchess of Cornwall is already the most senior female royal after the Queen, a position that she uses to support causes she feels strongly about. This includes her work as president of the Royal Voluntary Society, of which the Queen is patron and patron of the Silver Line, a free confidential helpline for older people experiencing loneliness, among dozens of other organizations in the areas of health, women empowerment, arts, literacy, and support of victims of rape, sexual abuse and domestic violence. Camilla's reading of the poem echoes her commitment to connecting the country's youngest and oldest people to benefit the development of the former and the mental health of the latter. But according to Judy, in this context, the Duchess could up her game. The language expert says the poem is the worst option to show off her traits. It needs more of a storybook delivery, using pauses, drama and rises and falls. At present, there is a flatlined effect to Camilla TM's reading out loud trademark. Camilla's public speaking needs some other tweaking too. Firstly, Judy says, her enunciation needs a little exaggeration. While it comes through okay for real life, it isn't enough for poetry or to connect with a large audience. Secondly, the Duchess has to control her breath, which goes slightly at a couple of points and she sounds as though she is suppressing a cough or needing to clear her throat towards the end. She sounds as though she hasn't TMT warmed up. Judy can also sense some shyness in Camilla's delivery. She sounds a little like we all probably did when we were asked to read aloud at school and felt embarrassed and lacking in confidence. In her future role as Princess Consort, mastering her speeches will be essential. Jodie says, Camilla can be coached to enjoy this kind of thing. Her initial recommendation for the Duchess is to draw from her experience as a mother. If she read to her children when they were small, she must have used a more varied tone. This should help her to add impact, engagement and variety now.